Hello guys, how are you? So once again, welcome to the data science lecture series in which we are just covering the most important topics which can be very helpful for your real life projects or your interview. So in this lecture, I'm just going to cover quick revisions related to machine learning, so in which we are going to see uh, regression type machine learning, then classification type models, and also some the models unsupervised type machine learning where we have no label data. So we are going to see these some quick questions and those concept you should know, and every interviewer or while doing your real projects, those concepts or those parts you must know and you should do. So as a machine learning, there are mostly two, three types like supervised, unsupervised, and there is a semi-supervised machine learning. So we are not going to see that uh, reinforcement learning from human feedback. We are going to skip that part. So most important are that supervised and unsupervised. So in supervised machine learning, there are two types. One is the classification and then one is the regression. So for as a point of your projects or interview, while selecting all those models or while checking those models output, how you evaluate those models. So every time you need to face that question. So for that regression type models, there are some basic concepts such as R2 score, adjusted R2 score, then root mean square error, adjusted root mean square error, then mean absolute error, and there are so many terms, and there are some assumptions for particular algorithms, such as some regression types algorithm are linear regression, then k-nearest neighbor, which can be utilized for both classification regression type, decision tree, random forest, XGBoost, support vector machine, and so many. And the latest one is the gradient boostings. Then there are so many types such as um, XGBoost, ADA boost, CAD boost, then light GPM, and you should know the basic working principle of assumptions of all those. Like linear regressions require the assumptions like linearity, no multicollinearity, then spread of error or homoscedasticity should be present there, and so many. So there should be normal distribution of all those data points. And I have already covered how you will going to evaluate those models. And before that, for any machine learning models, you should must know how you are preparing your data, how you are handling nan values, mean, mode, medians, categorical values, one hot encoder, then frequency based encoders, then how you are dropping all those features, duplicate values, and how you are also reducing the dimension. So there is a one concept, dimensionality reduction, so principal component analysis. So it's based upon unsupervised machine learning, and it's also consists of that matrix multiplications where eigenvalues are get calculated. So in which through the principal component analysis, actually we are lowering the number of features or dimensions into the lower one. So those are the very most important points. And before that also you should know how you are selecting features. Like there are various method, filter web method, wrapper method, embed methods. So forward feature selection, backward feature selection. Then there are others methods also, such as by using random forest or XGBoost. Also you are going to keep only some important features. So there are some hyperparameter tuning parameters are there, like how many you want to keep those max features, and also there are some important parameters like regularization to avoid the overfitting, like L1 regularization, L2 regularization, and all those. So those are the very very important concepts and basic one. But you know what happens, suddenly you get forget, or you are not mentioning all those concepts, but everyone want that you should know all those concepts very well with details, like how is your data distributed, how it's right skewed or left skewed, then what is Kendall coefficient, Pearson coefficients, how data points are correlated, how you have plotted all those data points for categorical values, or for that numerical categorical values and all those. So this one was the basic machine learning. And Most of time you will going to face the challenge like bagging type algorithm and boosting type, difference between them, their hyperparameters, why some algorithms are better than others, at which time we should select which algorithms and all those. And at unsupervised, there are also various types such as k-means clustering, then hierarchical clustering, and DB scan and all those. And there is one parameter like how you will going to select the best clusters, and about that within the cluster some obscure distance and all those. So you should also know the range between what is that Silhouette score range -1 to 1, then what indicate -1, 0 and 1, how you will calculate all those points distances and when you should stop. And there are also another one type is k means plus plus, so what's how it's different from the initial one and all those. So you should know those points very well, because while doing your work you are going to face those challenges, and also while giving the interview and also while doing the real life work also. And what are the other similarity matrices used? There are some cosine similarity, then Euclidean distance, through that also we're going to measure the distance, then Jacquard distance, then other Manhattan distance and all those. So in the large language models you will going to utilize all those, or in the natural language processing also you will going to use that cosine similarity to get the most nearest similar word and all those. So that was the very basic and fundamental questions of those machine learning. And apart from that, there are very important part comes, and it's the classification matrix. So it's confusion matrix actually it's called. So in which it will going to give the values of true positive, false positive, true negative, and false positive. So based upon that, you will going to tell what is precision, what is recall, when to use precision, when to use recall. If there are false positives are increasing, then in which scenario you will going to use. So in that we have need to, if you want to lower the false positive, then you should going to focus on precision, because in the precision we are giving the focus to lower the false positive. And there are so many examples like if the unknown person is trying to open your phone screen, then it's, and suppose if your mobile phone screen is opening, then it's a case of false positive, means you are not, means unknown person is coming and he is opening your phone. So actually that was the negative person, but your model has identified it as a positive, so it's a false positive case, and in that you are going to face a lot of challenges, your privacy may be get impacted. Also there is another case related to banking domain. If your password is wrong but still your model is predicting it as positive, then that case is the harm. So during such cases, if you want to reduce all those such cases, then you have need to focus on precision. And recall is the case where actually there is a positive case, but model is identifying it as a negative. And its most important use cases in the healthcare domain. So take an example, if suppose patients have a cancer, actually there are some patients which are suffering from the cancers. So they are the true positive cancerous patients, but model is identifying them as a false negative. So model considers them as a not affected by the cancer, or they have not cancer, so it's a false negative case. And in such a scenario, if person has a cancer and still it has not identified as a cancer one, then it is the very dangerous situation, and people may be suffer from their life and may lose their life. So to avoid all those medical emergency and all those fear, actually we want to or find to keep those positive cases, but model is identifying them as a negative. In such case we have need to focus on recall. And the case where we want to get both precision and recall, that time definitely we have need to focus on f1 score. So f1 score is nothing but the harmonic mean of precision and recall. So apart from that also there is one matrix, it's the ROC curve. It's a recall oriented characteristic curve. So it has some properties, it's plotted based upon that true positive rates on y-axis and false positive rate on the x-axis. And based upon that, if there is max area under the curve of those ROC curve, then we can consider our model is performing very well, and the value of ROC curve lies between 0 to 1, where if there is one value, then model is perfect doing classification, and if the value is going down, then we can consider we have need to improve model. But usually the value lies above 0.75 or 80 of those threshold, we can consider it as the best one. And there is also precision recall curve, the mean average precision recall curves, and all those. So based upon your use cases and scenario, you can select the best one. And apart from that, there is also log loss curve and all those. So those are also useful for binary classification and all those. So this is the very basic but very important questions for the machine learning, and while doing your all practical real-time projects or while giving the interview and all those, that time also you will going to see all those concept challenges. And I think without knowing all those concepts, you cannot do your work very well, and those are the most required questions for the data science or machine learning or any type of those AI engineer, because those are the very basic one. So I hope I have just covered the questions, and sometimes I also try to give the questions answers. And I hope if you have any questions or doubt, then please try to feel ask me. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.